Morning, everybody. It's your Uncle Bear. So I am down in Laredo, Texas, waiting for my delivery to open up. Sitting right at their guard shack. So when they get here, first thing they get to see is my smiley face. Anyway, wanted to talk a minute. You know, it's becoming apparent to me, in my opinion anyway, that the Pilot Flying J's don't give a rat's ass about truck drivers or the motoring public in general, whether you're in a truck or a car. Last week, I pulled into the former Flying J at Ardmore, Oklahoma. It's now changed to Pilot. The last few times I've been there, it's probably half of the fuel islands were operational. It's always been places. It used to be a really good truck stop. I used to love it. Like 10, 15 years ago, they had a huddle house in there. Now they don't have a restaurant at all. Like I say, most of the time when you go in there are fuel islands down. It was a shithole to get. They use the same entrance to you enter and exit at the same place. That's always been kind of a pain in the ass, but once they built that big shop there, it became even more of a pain in the ass. But anyway, last week I went in there. I was going to grab a shower, so I pulled in, and I noticed they added more paid parking spots too. So yeah, let's screw the drivers out of some more money and take away more of the free spots. Anyway, so I finally find a free spot open, pull into it, get on the app to reserve a shower, and it says showers unavailable. I thought, just on the app, or are they unavailable, period? So I scroll down on the app, to where it's got the store phone number. I call the store phone number. Well, now you don't actually get to talk to somebody in the store if you call the store number. It forwards to corporate guest services. So I asked her. I said, "Okay, is the shower app? Am I just unable to reserve a shower on the shower app, or are they completely unavailable?" She says, "Just hold for a minute." She comes back on a couple minutes later and she says, "Yeah, the showers are offline right now. So there are no showers." No, there's no showers. So, okay, now I got to drive down the road. But then yesterday I stopped at the former Flying J at Waco, Texas. It's now a Pilot. I pop in there. There's no fuel, which, okay, I'm going to give them a pass on this one. This time, a couple months ago, there was no fuel available there either, because they're changing all their fuel pumps. So I got to give them a pass that day too. But yesterday's was because of the ice storm. Nobody had fuel in northern Texas, so the past couple days, because nobody was able to deliver it. The roads were sheer ice, and they weren't fantastic yesterday when I came down, but they were passable. There was a few spots, but yeah, and they should have had fuel yesterday. They should have had fuel yesterday. The roads were good enough to where they should have been able to get fuel to them. But yeah, stuff like that. Oh, and I stopped at the Pilot at Tonkawa, Oklahoma, day before yesterday, and I was wading through the snow to get to the building. And I stopped there quite a bit, and I asked one of the employees in there, I said, "Does the manager not know that there's people you can call and they'll take the snow away?" I said, the drivers don't have enough shit on their mind. They got to wade through the snow in your parking lot. I said, nobody's touched the parking lot. And she said, yeah, she said, we just got a new manager. And she said, a couple of us have mentioned it to him. And he says, it's not our problem. I said, what, the snow being in the lot? She said, yeah. And she said, when we pointed out, people are getting stuck in their cars out on the car side of the building. She said, people are getting stuck in the parking lot, and he says, it's not our problem. Well, here's a little message to Pilot Flying J from a business standpoint. That's your property, inside and out. And if somebody slips and falls and cracks their head open and you're walking into your store from the parking lot, I think that person's lawyer is gonna change somebody's mind that it is in fact your problem. Not to mention the fact, seriously, what happened to the days when truck drivers were valued customers of truck stops? And I realize, Pilot Flying J, you're not a truck stop, you're a travel center now. That's fine. But if you take trucks out of the equation on your business model, you're a convenience store. You're just another convenience store. So you might want to revisit that notion. Oh yeah, and the points. I forgot about that. I noticed that since the beginning of the year, the maximum points that you can get in a month on your rewards app is now 4. It was 5 last year. They decreased the maximum number of points you can get per gallon to 4. Maybe it's just on mine because I'm saving up my points, but I always tease them at the checkout counter and say I'm saving up to buy my own Flying J. But yeah, they decreased the number of points on us. So, yay. I don't know. Just not feeling like a very valued customer by PFJ anymore. Let me know what you think in the comments, all right? Be safe out there.